What's going on, everybody? My name is Aiden and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, the Chicago Bulls have very much struggled in fourth quarters recently, as yes, we are on a 3-game winning streak and we have done fairly well, especially in our last game against the Rockets. I thought we played a good game up until the final ends of the fourth quarter. However, we seem to struggle once we actually get down to the nitty-gritty of things. Once we actually get down to the opportunity to take the game and seal it, we actually fall into trouble. And we need to be discussing what's going on for the Chicago Bulls in the fourth quarter, and that's what we're going to be discussing in this video. Before we get any further, if you liked the video and you want to see more from me, drop a like, drop a follow, and or subscribe if you are new, and let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the Chicago Bulls and the problems they are having within the fourth quarter. Now, let me just say, it's not the entire fourth quarter I have issues with, but in the last 2 games for the Chicago Bulls, when we have been heavily in the lead, we end up blowing big leads and allow teams to go on mini runs and allow teams to extend the game into overtime. Now, thankfully, in these last 2 games, we've able to run away in overtime. We've able to win some big important possessions, get some buckets, get some momentum in overtime that takes the game away from the other team. We are winning these closer games now, which is fantastic to see. But there's still issues there for the Chicago Bulls. I don't think I'm the only one sitting there wondering why DeMar DeRozan is in isolation for the last 3-4 minutes of a fourth quarter, when it felt like everything that was going right for us did not involve isolation. I'm sure I'm not the only guy that feels that way. And we have to discuss what's going wrong in that department. So, let's get started with obviously the thing I just talked about. The isolation ball in the fourth quarter. Specifically in the final 4-ish minutes in the game. Now, what's so upsetting about this is that it just comes out of nowhere. Now, again, I've said this in the past and I will remain true to this statement. If DeMar DeRozan was having an amazing game, coming out and scoring left, right and center, super efficient, just absolutely balling out of his mind, you know, those games where he drops 40 against the Clippers or whatnot, then I can fully accept a DeMar DeRozan ISO show if he's the one that's going to close the game out, if he has the hot hand the entire time. But that's not been the case these last 2 games. In fact, I'd go completely the opposite and say DeMar DeRozan has not really been efficient. He has maybe 1 or 2 good quarters in the game, and then he doesn't really show up for the rest of them. And then he's automatically the responsibility of things going, I guess, wrong in the fourth quarter. He decides to take the responsibility upon himself, which again, I can respect that he wants to be the guy that takes control in the fourth quarter, but I do feel like sometimes you need to sacrifice things in your game when there's other guys that have things going. Coby White in the last 2 games were balling out for the Chicago Bulls. He had 30 points in this game. I believe he had like 27 in the last game, and he very rarely touched the ball when it actually mattered in the fourth quarter. Why is that? We need to dissect that. Why does the ball and the responsibility go instantly to DeMar DeRozan when everybody else seems to have the hot hand going, and we actually play better team basketball when everybody's involved? Why do we refer back to those moments? Well, let's start off by saying this. Like I said, DeMar DeRozan, isolation is not terrible in small doses, and if he's the one that's absolutely balling out, if he's the one carrying the load for the Chicago Bulls, if the Bulls are having an off game, then I can understand DeMar DeRozan going for ISO ball. And it makes sense in those departments because maybe we just need that extra lift to bail us out. In those last 2 games, that's not what we needed at all, and that's what we got. So that's the first thing. Number 2, we need to target coaching staff here. I just don't get it. I feel like the coaching staff, Billy Donovan in particular, has spoken the most about the Chicago Bulls and how they need to pass the ball to become super effective, how we are a much better team when the assist numbers rise, how we do better when players are cutting off the ball. And he's spoken about this so often that, again, it's like it's coming into existence now. What he's speaking about is finally happening. But why is he allowing in these fourth quarter moments to go and revert back to what hurts us the most, and that is isolation and hero ball. That is ball hogging, pick and rolls, shooting the shot without anyone actually touching the ball for a possession. That must be deflating for the other players on this team, knowing that DeMar DeRozan is going to get the ball, dribble it out, take his mid-ranges with no one else touching the ball. That's got to hurt this Bulls team. And in some games like today, like the last game against Charlotte, it's just completely unnecessary to do, where every single other thing worked except for that, and we went back to that. In my opinion, that has to fall in elements on the coaching staff. He needs to understand that you have the responsibility to say, hey, We could give Kobe the ball in the fourth quarter and we can allow it to happen. We could give the ball in Vucevic in the post, or, you know, we can move the ball, create a play, let Kobe run the offense. You know, just do something. Instead of reverting back to what really hurts us every single game. ISO and hero ball. I don't like that. And Billy Donovan, from my understanding at least, doesn't like it either. Yet, when it actually matters, that's what we refer to. So again, these fourth quarters, we should have not been in overtime in any of these games. No disrespect to the other teams that we were playing. No disrespect to Houston. No disrespect to Charlotte. But let's be honest here. For all 3 and a little bit of the quarters in that game, we had been the better team compared to those guys. We played better than Houston all game. We played better than Charlotte all game. Yet somehow, they are able to force it to overtime. You have to take a deeper dive into why that is. I think the coaching staff needs to share a lot of responsibility for that. And let's move into this second part of blaming the coaching staff, and that is not trusting your players. I think it's as simple as that, in all honesty. I think if Billy Donovan truly had trust in Coby White, and I mean the trust that we win or lose based on the decision to run it by the point guard. I'm not saying I trust Coby White because I play him in the fourth quarter, or that Coby White thinks he has trust because he's playing in his big time moments. I truly mean, hey, look, I trust you. I trust the ball in your hands, and we will win or lose the game based on your decisions on the court. That's how much trust I have in you. If Billy Donovan had that amount of trust in Coby White, this would not be an issue. And I don't think he has that much trust in Coby White, because Coby White is still a young and upcoming player that has to learn how to go through those things. DeMar DeRozan is a veteran that has been through these moments before. And again, we've even seen 2 years ago, DeMar DeRozan deliver great performances, great buzzer beaters, great final points in a game to seal victories for us. So he's going to go and trust the veteran over the young guy. But again, I feel like you need to have a combination of both to make this truly work. I just don't understand how Coby White has 27 points and 30 points in a game and he doesn't get the ball in the final minutes of a fourth quarter. Either he's referring back to DeMar DeRozan, which in my opinion should not be the direction Coby White should be going down. He should have the responsibility and the confidence to really take over a game. If he wants to reach that next level in terms of an NBA player, he has to learn to overcome these things. But I don't think it's Coby White. I really don't. I think it's the coaching staff, and I think it's a little bit of DeMar DeRozan together, just, you know, DeRozan taking over because he feels like he has to, and Billy Donovan letting it happen because he doesn't really have any other way to go. That's probably what he feels. Or maybe he doesn't have the confidence to say, hey, look, I don't want the ball in your hands in the fourth quarter. I want it in Coby White's hands. Maybe Billy Donovan doesn't want to say that, or doesn't feel like, maybe he doesn't agree with what I see. I don't know what it is. But I feel like these are just small elements that are really hurting the Chicago Bulls. So to sum it up, I feel like, again, the ISO and hero ball. It could be Zach LaVine that does this sometimes as well. I'm not just going to target DeMar DeRozan. It could be anybody that does this. Even Vooch had some really bad shots in the last quarter of that game. He didn't make a three all game, yet the guy was still chucking them up. Again, it's not just DeMar DeRozan. There was some bad shot selection, just bad IQ plays all the way around for the Chicago Bulls in this fourth quarter. But you're looking at ISO and hero ball in these last 2 games, it has been DeMar DeRozan. So I think ISO and hero ball, referring back to what doesn't work. And, of course, the coaching staff, how the coaching staff is making these decisions and how it's hurting the Bulls. And it's very contradictory compared to what he said in the past. Also, I feel like there's a trust issue with the Chicago Bulls. And, you know, maybe Billy Donovan doesn't trust the young guys to take advantage and take control of a game. I don't know what it is. But, again, these are just the things that I believe is really hurting the Chicago Bulls right now. And why we are not, I guess, doing well in the fourth quarter. So to sum it up, in the next game against the Golden State Warriors, if we are in a bit of a tough predicament in the fourth quarter, what I would like to see is the ball continue to move and continue to get people involved. Again, unpredictability on offense can lead to some easier shots if you let it happen. I'd like to see the ball in Coby White's hands a little bit more. Let him succeed or fail and see what ends up happening. You can't expect him to improve in the clutch if you never give him the ball in the clutch. Simple as that. I'd like to see more trust. I'd like to see Billy Donovan really set authority on how we play the fourth quarters, because I think he's letting things slide that should not be let go. he should not let these things slide as the head coach of the Bulls and where we are in the standings. There's a lot that's gone wrong for the Bulls. The fourth quarter can't be one of them. What do you guys think? Thank you for watching. Drop a like and a follow and or subscribe if you are new, and I'll see you in the next Chicago Bulls related video. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay tuned for more. Take care and peace.